What's up, YouTube? This is Mustang Booker, and finally going to bring you a review of the Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 2. I've got a few little additions on it, but this is a rifle that was Smith & Wesson's, I think it was the #1 selling rifle in America last year. Easy to see why. You get really high quality for a very budget-friendly price. So I'm gonna go through a little bit of it and talk about it, and I'm a little late to the game with this review. There's a million reviews on the Smith & Wesson M&P Sport. Obviously you can look them all up yourself and do some research yourself, but this is a great little rifle. For the money, it's tough to beat. Mine's modified a little bit with some Magpul stuff and an optic from Sig Sauer, and I'll talk about that briefly, but I'm not really going to get into those. This is more about this really nice budget-friendly rifle from Smith & Wesson. So, a few specs. It is a 4140 steel barrel with what Smith & Wesson is calling an Armonite finish. We're pretty sure that's pretty close to melanite, but I guess it's Smith & Wesson's own in-house thing they're doing. But whatever they choose to call it, it seems to be working. As you can see on the internet, there's not a lot of problems people are having with this rifle. Now, the Smith & Wesson M&P Sport, the original one, lacked a few features. It didn't come with a dust cover or forward assist, and that bothered some people. I don't really have enough experience with, these rifles to say whether or not you need them. Some people do like them. I guess it's better to have them than not. But the Smith & Wesson M&P Sports, again, even without the original ones, without the dust cover, they seem to run fine without them. But with the Smith & Wesson M&P Sport 2, you get your dust cover and your forward assist at essentially the same price as the original M&P Sport. So this is a Sport 2. It is a 1-in-9 twist instead of the 1-in-8 twist. Why Smith & Wesson did that, don't know. Also, I want to say that this barrel is not a 5R rifling. It does have M4 feed ramps going into it, but as far as 5R rifling, I don't think they did this on the Smith & Wesson Sport 2. I think it is on the original one. But I've been shooting this gun. I've had it since Christmas, and here we are now, July, and I haven't had a single malfunction with it. It's functioned perfectly. It's shot every type of ammo I've ran through it, every load, pretty good groups for a non-free floated barrel. Let's work our way up to the front. As we were talking about the barrel, it is that 4140 steel. It does come with an A2 standard flash hider. Nothing special there, but it does work. So if you don't like it, buy it, spin it off, get something else. And let's see if I can get in focus here. There you see, it is the 5.56 NATO. It's not one to focus for me. This is just the contrast, but it is a 5.56 NATO with the 1-in-9 twists, so you can shoot 5.56 or 223 out of this barrel. This is not an M4 profile barrel. This is just a standard barrel, which some people like it, some people don't. It doesn't make a difference to me. I do like it's a good, thick, heavy barrel. You got your F-Mark A2 front sight post, nothing special there. Bayonet lug, which you'd need a really wicked long bayonet for that to work, but I don't think anybody runs bayonets anymore. But if you do, it is there. I just like that Smith & Wesson puts that on there. It's such an in-your-face to the protectionist. That's like the only reason you still have that on there, because it's one of the evil features is the bayonet lug. Just nothing special. Your standard sight there. Didn't come with a Mo handguard. This is the handguard it comes with. Is the thinner version of the M4 handguard. If you open it up, there is no heat shielding. I shot it like that for a while. It did heat up a little bit, but if you're wearing gloves, it's not really a huge problem. It does make the front end of the gun really light. Again, these are the thin down versions of the really bulbous M4 traditional handguards, and they're really light. And when this gun is unloaded, is as it comes out of the box, Smith & Wesson, it weighs 6.45 pounds is what I weighed it. That is really, really light. Very light rifle. But, like I say, you do not have your heat shields. Do you need those? Honestly, you will probably never, ever shoot your gun enough to need them. But some guys, if you're running training courses all the time, they will eventually reach a temperature where they will melt. So if you're a guy that likes to train a lot, shoot a lot, I'd swap it out for something else. I did. I swapped it out for the Magpul. Love Magpul stuff. They just make some really, really good quality, higher end quality stuff. And the Magpul handguard is one of my favorites. But it's still very light with that stuff on there. But anyway, moving on back. Like I said, it's got the Armonite finish, so that includes all over the rifle. It is a both receivers, upper and lower, are T7075 T6 aluminum. So it's the higher end aluminum, not the cheaper 6 series, which 6 series does fine. But 7 series is a little bit stronger, a little bit more durable, I think. But if you do have a rifle with 6 series on it, you're going to be fine. It came with a 30 round PMag, and there it is. Most companies are doing that now, some type of 30 round magazine, and they do make the state legal versions of it. And for you poor folks who live in California and Mass and Connecticut and New York and anywhere else that they just have completely unconstitutional laws, and those rights have been infringed upon, you get an infringed upon friendly magazine depending on where your state is. So but I live in New Hampshire, where it's live free or die, and you get a 30 rounder here in New Hampshire, so we are still a free state. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, so updated mine to OD Green Magpul. Trigger in it, nothing special. Pretty standard trigger. I think it breaks around 8 or 9 pounds, maybe something like that, maybe. But it's not bad. It's just a stock mil-spec trigger. They call it mil-spec, but obviously it's not made of mil-spec material. But the reset on it is a little spongy. But it's not really anything to discourage you from that trigger. I'm a trigger snob. I love CMC triggers, but I'm actually pretty happy with that trigger. It's actually pretty smooth right out of the box. So, a good job, Smith & Wesson. It's a trigger you can live with, and I can still get good groups with that trigger. So no problem. Like I said, dust cover, Ford Assist. Nothing special there. It does come with a flip-up Magpul backup iron sight there. And a thing that's cool about it is that it is sighted in from the factory. I think for 50 yards. So right out of the box, you're good to go. I didn't have to adjust this at all when I took it to the gun range. I didn't have to adjust the windage or elevation. It was just spot on, dead center. And I think they laser target it from the factory. So good on Smith & Wesson for that. Standard charging handle. You know, nothing to write home about. It came with an A2 pistol grip. Standard pistol grip. I swapped it out for the Magpul. I just like Magpul stuff. I like the rubber rash texture, but The A2 pistol grip on it is perfectly fine. Moving back, 6th position stock. This is the stock it comes with. Your standard, Smith & Wesson, a mil-spec stock there. This is a mil-spec buffer tube. So make sure if you pick up this rifle, you want to throw some accessories on it, make sure you're buying the mil-spec stuff. Let's see, anything else? It comes with the enhanced trigger guard. I love that. I love that that Smith & Wesson threw that in there. Because most of us swap it out for Magpul anyway, right? Or some kind of enhanced trigger guard. I live in New Hampshire where it is cold about 8 months out of the year. So we're wearing gloves, and that makes a big difference. So good on Smith & Wesson for that. Really, really happy and pleased with this rifle. Give me just a second. We'll open it up for you, and we'll look at the bolt carrier group. All right, so here's your bolt carrier group. Properly staked gas keys. Awesome. I think it's just standard. It's not a M16 group. As you can see the machining on it, it's cut a little bit short, so it's not an M16 bolt, but is perfectly fine. You get a chrome firing pin. Magnetic particle inspected? No way, not at that price. But again, no one's having problems with them. They're shooting tight groups, so there it is. There's your bolt carrier group. Let's put it back together. So there it is, the Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 2. Excellent firearm for under $600. You can't beat that. This is the industry standard and cheap, affordable budget firearms because it is a high quality firearm. You feel like you've gotten a rifle that costs a whole lot more than 600 bucks. And I've even seen them as cheap as $525. And if you ex-military guys, veterans, use your your military discount, get it even cheaper than that. So the only question I have left to ask is that if you are a firearm enthusiast and you enjoy shooting this platform, the AR-15, I would have to ask, what is wrong with you if you do not have one of these yet? Go get one. They're cheap as far as AR-15s go, and they are extremely reliable, extremely tough. Is it a rifle you can bet your life on? Yeah, absolutely. I would say absolutely yes. Competition rifle? Yeah, possibly. Patrol rifle for you police officers out there? Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Fantastic weapon for just such a cheap price. Again, if you don't have one, I really have to ask, what is wrong with you? Go pick one up. Save up for a couple weeks and buy one. If nothing else, just to have one in your arsenal. If nothing else, I mean, there's no excuse not to have one. If you can save up for a couple weeks, you can't justify the 520 some. It took me a couple weeks of saving up, and with Christmas money, I was able to purchase it. So go get one. All right, highly, highly, highly recommend it. Tight groups. Some of the tightest groups I've seen from a non-free-floated barrel out of any rifle. So very tight groups at 100 yards, at close range, 50 yards, really tight groups. So happy with the trigger, happy with the barrel, no malfunctions, no jams, works flawlessly, and go get one, guys. Smith & Wesson, great job. Thank you for making an amazing rifle at such an affordable price. And thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'm going to try to bring some more videos, and you have to forgive me that I did this on my phone, but my digital SLR broke, so I had to do this on my phone. So I know it's not the best quality, but I wanted to get this out there for you guys. I know there's a million reviews on this rifle, but I just want to put my 2 cents in just to help you guys out making a decision whether you want one or not. The answer is yes, you do want one. Go buy one. Smith & Wesson doesn't pay me anything. That's just my opinion. I have nothing to do with Smith & Wesson. They've just given us a great quality firearm for that every man can afford. So go get one. Thanks, guys. This is Mustang Booker. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. God bless.